the grassland guardian song of orange lion, a yan in the morning light of the African savanna. A majestic lion came walking. Its name was a yan. A yan's mane is like a burning orange flame. When he runs, his mane flutters like a ball of flowing light. His claws are thick but never used to bully small animals. Little zebra Tiao. Tiao always says, a yan is the guardian of the grassland. He looks proud and his heart is softer than a stone warmed by the sun. That early morning, the younger brother of the little antelope Duoduo accidentally ran far away and bumped into a hyena hiding behind the bushes. A yan happened to be patrolling not far away. Hearing the cries for help, he rushed over immediately, raised his orange mane and let out a low growl. The hyena was so scared that it ran away with its tail between its legs. A yan gently rubbed the trembling little antelope with his nose and sent it back to Duoduo. Thank you, a yan. Your roar is more powerful than thunder. Duoduo said gratefully. In the morning, the sun rose higher. Little giraffe Dodo couldn't reach the tender leaves of the acacia tree and was so anxious that she kept shaking her neck. A yan walked to the tree and gently nudged the low branch with his head. The tenderest leaves rustled down. Dudu chewed the leaves and shook his long neck, saying, Brother Ayan, your strength is even better than that of a big tree. At noon, a hot wind blew across the grassland. Little hedgehog Kuki suffered from heat stroke and lay motionless on the ground. Ayan quickly grabbed a large banana leaf and covered Kuki with it. Then he ran to the riverbank, scooped up cold water with his paws, and gently sprinkled it on Kiwi's face. Kuki woke up and bent over, saying, Your care is even more meticulous than Mum's. In the evening, the setting sun dyed Ayan's mane a golden red. His friends all gathered around. Duoduo brought fresh and tender green grass. Dodo carried sweet leaves, and Kuki held juicy wild fruits. Ayan lay on the grass, looking at his little friends beside him, feeling warm in his heart. It turns out that the majesty of the king of the grassland does not come from his roar, but from the tenderness of protecting his companions. The buzzing of blue-winged bees is a messenger of floral fragrance in the rose garden. There is a special little bee flying around. It is buzzing. While the wings of other bees are transparent, the wings of buzzing bees seem to be dyed the blue of the sky. When they flutter, they emit a blue light. When gathering nectar, they always stick pollen on their blue wings, as if they have sprinkled gold powder. Sister Butterfly always says, buzzing is the blue elf of the garden. Its wings are beautiful, and it delivers messages faster than the wind. That early morning, little Aunt Guago wanted to send an invitation to her friend on the other side of the river, but the small river blocked her way. Weng Weng happened to pass by while gathering honey and offered, Let me deliver it for you. My blue wings fly steadily. It clamped the invitation with its hind legs and flew over the small river with a buzzing sound, avoiding the mischievous dragonfly and steadily delivering the letter to the ant hole. Guago shook her antennae and said, Thank you, Wang. Your wings are more reliable than a small boat. In the morning, the sun was so scorching that the flowers all withered. Little hedgehog Kuki wanted to tell Grandpa Gardener to water them, but she had no idea where Grandpa was. Buzzing immediately flapped its blue wings and flew around the garden. Finally, it found Grandpa by the fence and gently touched his hand with its antennae to signal. Grandpa followed Wang Wang to the garden. After watering, the flowers became energetic again. Kuki held the wild fruits and said, "Brother Wang Wang, your blue wings are like little guides. You are so amazing." At noon, little butterfly Duodwo's wings got stuck in the spider web and she was so anxious that she kept crying. Buzzing hurriedly flew over, carefully biting through the spider silk with its sharp mouthparts, and then using its blue wings to fan the spider web off Duodwo's body. "Do on be afraid, I'll take you to gather honey." Duodwo followed the buzzing and flew onto the sunflower, sucking on the sweet nectar and saying, "Your blue wings are not only beautiful, but also particularly heartwarming." In the evening, all the bees returned to their hives, buzzing still to convey the message of blooming tomorrow to the morning glories. The queen bee saw the pollen on her blue wings and said with a smile, "Buzzing is truly the most diligent messenger." The friends gathered around the beehive. Guago brought sweet honeydew Kuki, presented fresh wild fruits, and Duadua woven a small flower ring for Weng Weng with petals. When the moon rises, it hums in the beehive, with the fragrance of petals still lingering on its blue wings. It knows that as soon as the sun rises tomorrow, it will wear its blue wings and be the best floral messenger in the garden, bringing warmth and news to every corner. The little garden guards, with green wing bees buzzing in the garden full of tulips. There was a lively little bee flying around, buzzing. The wings of other bees are transparent, but the buzzing wings are like green leaves moistened with morning dew, bright and shiny. When they flutter, they carry a faint fragrance of grass. Sister Butterfly always says, "Buzzing is the little guard of the garden." The green wings are like magic, and the heart is sweeter than nectar. That early morning, the team of Little Ant Guagu was trying to carry breadcrumbs, but was blocked by a small ditch. Weng Weng happened to pass by while gathering honey. Immediately, he flapped his green wings and brought a slender blade of grass, which he steadily spread over the ditch. "Hurry up and cross the grass bridge." The ants lined up and walked across the grass leaves. Guaguo waved its antennae and shouted, "Thank you, Wang. Your green wings are more dexterous than a small crane." In the morning, the sun was getting stronger and stronger. The morning glories drooped their heads drowsily. Weng Weng noticed that the watering can by the flower bed had fallen over. He quickly flew over, tightly grasped the handle with his little paws, flapped his wings vigorously, and gradually lifted the watering can up. He also made a buzzing sound towards the spout, reminding Grandpa Gardener to water it. After Grandpa finished watering, the morning glories straightened up again, nodding and smiling at the buzzing. At noon, the little ladybug Dion Dion got entangled in a spiderweb around a rose and was so anxious that it was flitting about, buzzing hurriedly flew over, carefully biting through the spider silk with its sharp mouthparts, and then gently fanned the dust off Dion's body with its green wings. "Don't be afraid. I'll take you to collect sweet nectar." Dion followed Wu Wang and flew onto the sunflower head, sucking on the nectar and saying, "Brother Wu Wang, your green wings are not only beautiful, but also very reliable." In the afternoon, a group of little aphids sneaked up onto the rose branches, wanting to gnaw on the tender leaves. Buzzing immediately became alert. While flying around the flower branches, it flapped its wings to create a gentle breeze to drive away the aphids, and at the same time it called for other bee companions with a buzzing sound. Everyone worked together with one heart and one mind to drive away all the aphids and protect the tender roses. In the evening, the setting sun dyed the garden a warm golden hue, and the friends gathered around the flower bed. Guogu brought sweet nectar. Dian presented her delicious aphid natural enemy, ladybug eggs used to protect the flowers. And Grandpa Gardener brought a small dish of water to quench Wang Wang's thirst. Buzzing on the rose petals, the green wings glistened in the setting sun, and my heart felt warm. When the moon rose, it buzzed back to the beehive, still carrying the fragrance of pollen and grass on its wings. It knows that as soon as the sun rises tomorrow, it will carry this pair of magical green wings and be the most dedicated little guard in the garden, protecting every flower and helping every little friend in need. The little helper of the pond, chubby frog Dundon, in the pond, covered with lotus leaves. There squatted a chubby and round frog. Its name was Dundon. Dundon's belly is like a fully inflated green balloon. The patterns on its back are like jade splashed with ink, and its hind legs are strong. When it jumps, it splashes water with a splash sound. Little Fish Lily always blows bubbles and says, "Dundon is the little fortune of the pond." It looks simple and innocent, jumps steadily, and is more reliable than a lotus leaf. That early morning, the little dragonfly's green wings were stuck to the reed by a spider web. It was so anxious that it flapped the remaining wings straight. Dundon happened to be catching insects nearby. Seeing it, he immediately arched his hind legs and jumped over with a quack, gently rubbing his thick feet to break the spider silk. His movement was so light that it didn't hurt Chinking S-wings. "Don't be afraid. I'll take you back to the lotus leaf." Chinking landed on Dundon's back and said gratefully, "Thank you, Dundon. Your back is more stable than a petal." In the morning, the sun made the lotus leaves a little curled. Little Aunt Guago wanted to go to the mud hole on the opposite bank, but was blocked by the water surface. Dundon hurriedly swam over, allowing Guago to climb onto his head. He steadily hopped across the lotus leaf and also helped Guago drive away the little sparrows that wanted to peck at it. Guago waved her antennae and said, "Brother Dundon, your jumping ability is even better than that of a small boat." At noon, the little hedgehog Kiyuki by the pond got its mouth stuck in a jujube pit and was rolling round in pain. Dundon recalled what the old frog had said: drinking warm water could remove foreign objects. It immediately jumped onto the big rock, croaked quack quack at the passing children, and pointed at Kiyuki with its front paws. The child understood and quickly brought warm water to feed Kiyuki. The juju pit went down very quickly. Kiyuki held a wild fruit and said, "Dundon, you are such a smart little messenger." In the evening, the setting sun dyed the pond orange red, and Dundun squatted on the largest lotus leaf. Lale brought freshwater plants, Guagu brought sweet honeydew, and Kiyuki presented juicy wild fruits. Dundun puffed out her cheeks and chewed wild fruits. Occasionally, she would kick the water surface with her hind legs, and the splashing water looked like little pearls in the setting sun. It knows that its plumpness is not a flaw. If it can use its skills to help its friends, it is the best frog in the pond. The warm and busy notes of little red pig Tuonchuan's farm beside the haystack on the farm. There was a pink little pig running. Its name was Tuonchuan. Tuonchuan's fur is like soft pink cotton. Her round body wobbles as she runs. Her nose is pink and tender, making a rustling sound when it bumps into the soil. The mother hen always cackles and praises. Tuonchuan is the little blessing of the farm. She looks simple and innocent, but her heart is warmer than corn porridge. That early morning, the mother hen dropped an egg she had just laid and was so anxious that she was pacing around the chicken coop. Tuonchuan hurried over and sniffed in the grass with her sensitive little nose. Suddenly, she began to wet at a pile of fallen leaves. With a gentle nudge of her nose, a round egg rolled out. Mother hen, holding an egg in her mouth, smiled and said, "Thank you, Tuonchuan. Your nose is more sensitive than that of a little detective." In the morning, the sheep's wool got caught by the barbed wire, and it kept crying out in pain. Tuonchuan slowly moved closer, gently pressing his chubby body against Meow Meow, and carefully picking the wool off the wire with his nose. His movements as light as blowing a breath. Meow Meow rubbed against its body and said, "Brother Tuonchuan, your nose is more dexterous than a little comb." At noon, the sun was shining warmly. The little owner, Duadwa, was planting carrots in the vegetable garden, but couldn't dig through the hard soil. Tuonchuan immediately ran over, pushed the soil hard with his nose, and crushed the hard clods of soil into small pieces. He also helped Duadwo bury the carrot seeds and gently pressed them down with his body. Duadwo patted its head and smiled. "Tuonchuan, you are really my little helper. You are even more useful than a small hoe." In the afternoon, a little duck accidentally fell into a mud pit and flapped its wings but couldn't climb out. Tuonchuan quickly lay down by the mud pit, allowing the little duck to climb up by stepping on her back, and then used her nose to wipe the mud off the little duck's body. The little duck quacked, "Thank you, Tuonchuan. Your back is more stable than a small step." In the evening, the setting sun bathed the farm in a warm golden hue, and the friends gathered around the haystack. Mother hen brings fresh eggs, Baba brings tender green grass, and Dewardrow serves sweet corn porridge. Tuonchuan was sipping the corn porridge with a whoosh-whoosh sound, her pink nose smeared with the porridge, and her eyes narrowed into small crescent moons. The wind from the farm blows by, all carrying the warm scent brought by this little red pig. The warm story of Little Menu, Juang Swang, on the grassland where the morning mist had not yet dissipated. A chubby little Menu was running. Its name was Juang Swang. Juang Swang's fur is like green grass coated with milk frost, soft and fluffy. The little horns on its head are pink and tender. When it runs, its 4 little legs make a thumping sound. The mother cow always licks its ears and says, Duongzhuang is the little son of the grassland. It looks simple and innocent, but its heart is warmer than fresh milk. That early morning, the little lamb, Meow Meow, had its fur wetted by the dew, and was so cold that it curled up into a ball. Zhongguang hurried over, blocking the cold wind with his chubby body, and then pushed Meow Meow up the sunny slope. Come and bask in the sun. It's so warm. Meow Meow rubbed against Zhongguang's body and quickly warmed up, saying in a soft voice, Thank you, Zhongguang Wang. Your body is more comfortable than a wool blanket. In the morning, little hedgehog Kuki fell into a shallow pit while looking for wild fruits. When Zhuangguang saw this, he carefully bent his neck, gently hooked his pink horns onto Kiwi's thorns, and slowly pulled it up. He also helped it brush off the dirt on its body. Kuki bent over and said, Brother Zhuangshuang, your horns are even more dexterous than small hooks. At noon, Sister Duadwo, who was herding sheep, was thirsty but found that the water bottle was empty. Duangshuang remembered that there was a sweet spring not far away. It immediately led Duadward to run towards the spring and gently tapped the spring with its hooves to make the water flow even more vigorously. Duadwo held the spring water and drank it, smiling and patting Zhuangzhuang's head. Zhuangzhuang is truly my little guide. He's even more reliable than a pony. In the afternoon, a strong wind blew the mother bird's nest to the ground, and the baby birds chirped in terror. Zhuanggyuwang quickly stood beside the bird's nest, blocking the wind with his body and mooing at the cattle to ask the mother cow for help. With everyone's efforts, the bird's nest was steadily placed back on the tree branch. The mother bird kept nodding and thanking Zhuangguang in the evening. The setting sun dyed the grassland a golden red, and the friends gathered around Zhuangguang. Myomyo brought fresh and tender green grass. Kuki presented sweet wild fruits, and Sister Duodua brought it delicious forage. Duangashuang was chewing on the grass, his little tail swaying gently, and his pink horns shining in the setting sun. The mother cow looked at it and said with a smile, Its fur is strong and soft. A heart that helps others is even warmer. It's truly a good treasure of the grassland. The heartwarming, chirping song of brown birds on the treetop of the old locust tree lived a little brown bird, chirping. Shushu's feathers are like sun-dried brown wool, with a little gold powder on the tips of its wings. When it sings, it makes a chirp, chirp, chirp sound like a silver bell. Little squirrel Tao Tao always lies on the tree branch and cries. Shushu is a little singer on the treetop. Her voice is sweet and her heart is even warmer. That early morning, little hedgehog Kuki was looking for wild fruits under a tree. She was lost in the morning mist and squatted in place, worrying. Shushu immediately flew down and landed on Kukwai's back. "Follow my singing, I'll lead you home." It sang as it flew, its clear voice piercing through the mist. Kuki ran along with the sound and soon saw the familiar tree hole. In the morning, when the sun rose, the group of little ants Guagu was blocked by a puddle. Shushu quickly picked up a dry leaf and gently placed it on the puddle, then sang an encouraging song. "Don't be afraid, don't be afraid. Use the leaf as a small boat." The ants followed the leaves across the big puddle. Guaguo waved her antennae and thanked them. "Your singing is more effective than oars." At noon, the little girl Duadwo from the neighbor's house was drawing under a tree. Her drawing paper was blown away by the wind. Chirping whoosh, it caught up with the drawing paper, gently held it down with its paws, and slowly flew back. Duadwo took the drawing paper and fed it millet with a smile. "Juju, you are really my little helper. You are even more agile than a kite." In the afternoon, the little sparrow Diandian's wing was injured and it was crying secretly in its nest. Shushu flew into the nest, wrapped his wings around Dion. Dion sang a gentle song, and even flew away to carry the mint leaves that had been used to treat his wounds. Dion listened to the singing and her wound seemed to have gone away. She whispered, "Sister Juju, your singing is softer than cotton." In the evening, the setting sun dyed the treetops a golden red. Choo Choo stood on the highest branch and sang a cheerful song. Tao Tao was holding a pinnacone. QQ was bringing wild fruits, and Duo was holding a drawing paper. Everyone was listening to it sing under the tree. When the wind blows, the leaves of the locust tree rustle, as if dancing along with the chirping songs. When the moon climbed up, Choo Choo hid the food sent by her friends in a tree hole and snuggled up in a warm nest. It knows that as soon as the sun rises tomorrow, it will awaken the forest with its songs and help more friends with its wings. Though its brown feathers are not dazzling, the kind little bird will always be the brightest star on the treetops. Chameleons, colorful forest magic in the thickets of the tropical rainforest. There lives a chameleon that can perform magic tricks. Its name is Sisai. Sisai's skin is like a magical palette. It turns emerald green when lying on a green leaf and pink when squatting beside a red fruit. Even her eyes can look around. The lizard mother always says CAI is a little painter in the forest. Her ability to change colors is excellent, and her heart to help others is even warmer. Early in the morning, little Aunt Guago led her team to carry sugar grains, but was blocked by a small ditch. Sicey AI hurriedly climbed over, her body turning brownish with a whoosh, like a steady little branch resting on the ditch. Guo, Guo, come along with me. The little ants lined up, stepping on Sicey AI's back and passing steadily. Guo Guo waved her antennae and shouted, "Thank you, Sai Sai. Your branch bridge is safer than wooden boards." In the morning, the sun was scorching hot on the ground. Little ladybug Dion couldn't find a shady spot and was lying on a stone, almost suffering from heat stroke. KCAI immediately crawled to Dion's side. Her skin gradually turned dark green and she unfolded her body as if holding up a small green umbrella. Dion, come to me quickly. Dion hid in the shadow. The cool breeze instantly invigorated it. Flapping its wings, it said, "Sister Sai, your green umbrella is even more comfortable than the shade of leaves." At noon, the little butterfly's colorful wings were cut by thorns, and it hid among the flowers, crying. Sai crept over quietly, her skin turning the color of a pink rose. She gently rolled over a soft petal with her tail and said, "Don't cry. Wrap it up with this." The butterfly wrapped its wound with petals and flew around Sai, saying, "Your invisibility technique is so magical and so gentle. Thank you so much." In the afternoon, the little boy Lely from the neighbor's house came for an adventure and accidentally dropped his telescope into the grass. When Tisai saw this, she immediately turned bright yellow and crawled back and forth beside the telescope like a little lantern guiding the way. Lele followed the yellow little signpost to find the telescope and clapped her hands happily. Tisai, your color is even more eye-catching than the little flag. You are truly my little helper. In the evening, the sky was overcast with dark clouds, and it was about to rain. Tisai noticed that the grass nest of the little cricket Lala was leaking. It quickly climbed to the top of the nest, its skin turning dark brown and sticking tightly to the grass nest, as if it were covered with a small waterproof tile. When the raindrops were pattering down, Lely was singing in her nest. "Sai tease, your tiles are more effective than leaves. I'm not wet at all." The setting sun dyed the forest an orange red. The friends gathered under the trees, and their colorful skin also turned a warm orange. The little ant brought sugar grains, the little ladybug offered nectar, and Lele brought delicious insects. Tisai. I was chewing on the delicious food, her eyes moving around with a smile. The lizard mother said, "CAI's color-changing magic is amazing, but the willingness to share the magic's intention is the best magic." A sweet and interesting record of a pond with golden red goldfish in the clear pond. There is a shiny red goldfish swimming. Its name is Jinjin. The scales of Jinjin are like red silk sprinkled with gold powder, and its tail is like a small fan spread out. When it swings back and forth, leaving red water ripples. The mother fish always says Jinjin is the little lucky star in the pond. It has a bright appearance and a warm heart. That early morning, little shrimp Meng got her whiskers entangled by water plants and was so anxious that she was flapping around. When Jinjin saw this, she swam over quickly, gently pushed aside the water plants with her nimble tail, and said softly, "Meng Meng, don't worry, I'll help you." Meng Meng broke free from the water plants and swam twice with Jinjin. "Thank you, Jinjin. Your tail is more dexterous than a pair of scissors. It saved me." In the morning, the sun shone through the water surface. Little field snail Lely wanted to climb onto a warm rock to bask in the sun, but its shell was too heavy and it climbed slowly. Jinjin, holding Lele's shell on her head, slowly pushed it towards the stone. "Lele, let me give you a push." Lele climbed onto the rock smoothly and basked in the sun comfortably, saying, "Thank you, Jinjin. Your strength is even greater than that of a small cart. The sun is so warm." At noon, the little tadpoles in the pond couldn't find their mother and were circling around in the water. Jinjin remembered the lotus leaf area where the frog mother often stayed. She quickly led the little tadpoles to swim there and would turn back from time to shout, "Follow me. I'll help you find your mother." When the frog mother saw her children, she waved her legs at Jinjin and said, "Thank you, Jinjin. You are such a reliable little guide." In the afternoon, the little girl Duadua from the neighbor's house came to the pond to feed the fish. As soon as she saw the bright red Jinjin, her eyes lit up. "Wow, this goldfish is so beautiful, like a little red lantern." Duaduo gently scattered fish food. Jinjin swam over, ate slowly, and even wagged her tail at Duaduo as if saying, "Thank you for the delicious food." In the evening, dark clouds drifted from the sky and it seemed that it was about to rain. Jinjin remembered the little crab Bibi hiding under the lotus leaf. Its little nest was prone to water accumulation. Jinjin quickly stirred the water with her tail to help. Bibi drained the water from the nest and also found small stones to raise the bottom of the nest. When the raindrops tick-tock fell, Bibi's bed was extremely dry. She smiled and said, "Thank you, Jinjin. You're more effective than a small umbrella. I haven't got damp at all." The setting sun dyed the pond a warm red. The friends gathered around Jinjin and held a small sharing session. The little shrimp brought fresh plankton, the little field snail shared algae, and Duodwo brought sweet fish food. Jinjin swam in the middle, its red scales shining in the setting sun. It said, "I'm the happiest to be able to help everyone." Mother Fish smiled and said, "Jinjin's red scales are beautiful, but her helpful heart is even more precious." When the moon rises, its moonlight spills over the pond. The golden red scales reflect the moonlight as if sprinkled with a layer of silver powder. Because of the red goldfish Jinjin, this small pond has become more lively and warmer. Such days are more pleasant than sweet fish food and more dazzling than the bright red scales. The growth story of the soft caterpillar in the vegetable garden in Grandma's vegetable garden. There lives a little caterpillar on a cabbage leaf. Everyone calls her Ruin, Ruin. She has a tender green body covered with fine down though. When she gets up, her body arches up as if dancing slowly. She can even spin fine threads and hang herself under the vegetable leaves to bask in the sun. At first, all the friends in the vegetable garden thought she climbed slowly. It was not until later that they found that the soft slowness, hidden meticulousness, and tenderness that early morning ruin had just taken a bite of a tender leaf on the Chinese cabbage when she heard a soft woo-woo sound. It was a little aphid named Diandian that had just hatched from its eggs. It couldn't find its mother and was trembling with hunger, trying to find the tender leaf to eat. But the whole leaf was a bit dry from the sun, and she had no idea which leaf was the juicy. Ruan quickly climbed over and gently touched Diandian with her body, saying, "Don't worry, I'll show you the tenderest leaves." She slowly climbed to the base of the cabbage leaf, where the leaves had just grown out, soft and wet. Dion followed Ruin and crawled over, took big bites of the leaves, and shook her antennae at Ruin. "Thank you, Ruin. Your antennae are more sensitive than mine. The leaves you found are really delicious." In the morning, the sun was slowly rising. The little snail in the vegetable garden was slowly crawling among the vegetable leaves. Suddenly, it was blown over by a gust of wind, with its shell facing down. No matter how hard it tried, it couldn't turn over. It was so anxious that its antennae kept shaking. When Ruin saw this, she quickly crawled over, used her body to support the slow shell, and pushed it bit by bit to the side. "Slow, don't push too hard. I'll help you turn it over." Her body was so soft that it could just touch the edge of the shell. Slowly, with the help of her strength, she finally flipped over. Slowly, she shook her shell at Ruin and said, "Thank you, Ruin. Your body is softer than a small cushion. You've been a great help to me." At noon, Grandma was picking vegetables in the vegetable garden. Accidentally, she knocked a leaf with small mushrooms crooked. The little mushrooms were lying on the ground. If they were exposed to the sun for too long, they would wilt. Ruin quickly climbed to the side of the little mushroom, spun out fine threads, and gently tied the mushroom stem and the vegetable leaves together, as if setting up a small support for the little mushroom. When Grandma saw this, she smiled and said, "We soft are so smart, we can even help the little mushroom stand up." Having said that, he deliberately avoided this leaf and didn't touch it again. In the afternoon, dark clouds suddenly drifted from the sky, and it seemed that it was about to rain. Ruin recalled the little ladybug Hong living under the chilly leaves. Its wings had not yet grown strong, and it was afraid of getting wet by the rain. Ruin quickly crawled over, blocking the gaps between the chilly leaves with her body, and even spitting out threads to stick the edges of the leaves together, as if she had built a small rain shelter. Hong hid under the shed and shook her back shell at Ruin. "Thank you, Ruin. Your body is like a little umbrella. Not a drop of rain can get on me." Day by day passed, and Ruin gradually grew up. She began to spin silk, to wrap herself inside, turning into a tiny cocoon and hanging on the back of the cabbage leaf. The friends in the vegetable garden come to visit her every day, looking forward to her coming out. A few days later, the cocoon cracked open and a butterfly with colorful wings flew out. It was Ruin. There were yellow and black patterns on her wings, as if she were wearing a beautiful floral dress. When she flew, she crawled much faster than before. Dion, Man, and Hong Hong all gathered around and happily flew after her, gently flying over the cabbage leaves and the chilly thickets. My heart is filled with sweetness. It turns out that a tiny caterpillar, whether it is crawling slowly or turning into a butterfly, can become a little treasure in the vegetable garden through its own kindness and perseverance. When the moon rose, Soft was still gently flying above the vegetable garden, and its colorful wings looked like a moving little flower under the moonlight. The vegetable garden is quiet, with only the rustling sound of the wind blowing through the vegetable leaves. Because of Ruan, this vegetable garden has become more and more lively and warm. Such days are sweeter than tender Chinese cabbage leaves and more beautiful than colorful wings. A heartwarming memory of the sweet fruit basket from Little Pineapple in the kitchen of the little girl Tian. There was a round pineapple. Everyone called it Tian, the same name as the little owner, and Tian felt particularly close to it. It was dressed in a brownish-yellow armor, which was covered with sharp little thorns, like a tiny warrior. On its head was a cluster of emerald green leaves, which swayed gently in the wind, as if it were wearing a small green hat. When it was first bought by its mother, Tian was always afraid of being pricked by its thorns. It was not until later that she discovered that beneath the armor of this little pineapple lay sweet flesh and warm feelings. That early morning, Mum put the sweet pineapple into the fruit basket in the living room. There were also apples, bananas, and oranges in the basket. Just as it was placed, a rustling sound was heard. It was a little ant. It wanted to climb onto the apple to find the sweet juice, but the fruit basket was too high. It crawled around on the table legs, spinning in circles in a hurry. Little Pineapple quickly shook the leaf on top of his head, letting it hang down to the table leg. Little ant, climb up along my leaf. My leaves are stable and wide. They won't fall down. The little ant slowly crawled along the green leaves and finally reached the fruit basket. It even rested on the armor of the little pineapple and waved its antennae at it, saying, "Thank you, little pineapple. Your leaves are more useful than a small ladder." In the morning, the sun was slowly rising. Tian, the little master, was playing with building blocks in the living room and accidentally pushed her favorite little duck toy under the sofa. It was pitch dark under the sofa. Tian reached out for a long time but couldn't touch the toy. She was so anxious that she kept stamping her feet. When Little Pineapple saw it in the fruit basket, he quickly shook his body at Tian. In fact, it was his mother who passed by and touched the fruit basket. Tian suddenly remembered, Little Pineapple's leaves are long. Maybe they can be of help. She carefully picked up the little pineapple her mother had taught her to hold onto the root of the leaf, and swept the green leaves above her head under the sofa. In no time, the little duck toy was hooked out by the leaves. Tian held the toy and smiled at Little Pineapple. Little pineapple, you are so amazing. Your leaves are like little hooks, helping me find the little duck. At noon, sweet and good friend Lely came to play at home. Mum wanted to make fruit salad for the two children, but the fruit knife was too sharp. Mum was afraid of hurting the children and asked them to wait in the living room. Little pineapple was lying in the fruit basket. Hearing his mother say, it would be great if there was something to arrange the fruits first, he quickly shook his leaves again. Its armor was round and just right to serve as a small plate. When Mum saw this, she smiled and put the cut apple pieces and banana slices in the armor of the little pineapple. Mum had smoothed out a little bit of the thorns in advance. The two children surrounded the little pineapple and ate the fruit with small forks. Lele also said, "This pineapple plate is so beautiful. The fruits seem sweeter now." In the afternoon, dark clouds suddenly rolled in from the sky. Mum forgot to bring the small flower pot on the balcony in, and the raindrops soon began to fall with a drip, drip sound. Little Pineapple was in the living room. Through the window, he saw the small flower pot shaking in the rain. He quickly shook the leaves in the direction of Tian Tian. Seeing the little pineapple's movement, Tian Tian looked at the balcony again and hurriedly ran over to bring the small flower pot in. Mum stroked Tian Tian's head and said, "Thanks to you and Little Pineapple. Otherwise, Little Flower would have been spoiled by the rain." The leaves of the little pineapple swayed gently, as if saying, "I'm here to help too." In the evening, Mum washed the little pineapple clean, peeled off the thorny skin, revealing the golden flesh. She also cut it into small pieces and placed them on a plate. Tian Tian and Lala held toothpicks, picked up a piece of pineapple and put it in their mouths. The sweet juice spread in their mouths, and both of them smiled so hard that they narrowed their eyes. Tian Tian picked up a piece of pineapple and placed it beside the fruit basket, as if sharing with the shell of the little pineapple today. The little pineapple has helped us a lot. We should also give it a little sweetness. Looking at the two children and then at the pineapple shells in the fruit basket, the mother smiled and said, "Actually, the little pineapple is not only sweet in flesh, but also willing to help everyone with its armor and leaves. That's the sweetest part." Tian Tian and Lala nodded half understandingly and picked up another piece of pineapple. Today's pineapple seemed really sweeter than usual because it was filled with the little pineapple's enthusiasm. When the moon rose, Mum washed the pineapple shells clean, dried them, and gave them to Tian as small ornaments. She also put a small wildflower in them. Tian placed the little ornament by the bedside and looked at the green leaves above its head. It seemed as if she saw the little pineapple helping the little aunt, looking for toys and using it as a plate. In sweet dreams, the sweet aroma of pineapples wafts everywhere. Such days are sweeter than the flesh of pineapples and more beautiful than the little green hat. Sister Moon's night watch every evening. When Grandpa's sun hides behind the mountains, the night sky welcomes a gentle guest. Sister Moon. Sometimes she is like a round silver plate, scattering her clear glow all over the world. Sometimes it is like a small boat, gently drifting in the deep blue night sky. Sometimes I would hide in the clouds, only showing a little bit of light, as if playing hide-and-seek with everyone. No matter what it looks like, Sister Moon's light is always warm and gentle, illuminating the paths in the forest and also the way home for the little animals. That night, Sister Moon turned into a round silver plate and was smiling at the forest. Suddenly, she heard a wailing sound. It was the little squirrel Lely. It had gone to the pine tree to pick pinnacle nuts in the evening, and was so absorbed in it that it could not find its way home after dark, and could only shake while hugging the tree trunk. Sister Moon quickly brightened the moonlight a little, allowing the light to gently fall on the path in front of Lelu, as if a silver carpet had been laid out. Lelu, don't be afraid. Follow my light and you'll find your home. Lulu saw the shiny path, wiped away her tears and ran forward under the moonlight. In no time, she saw the tree hole of her own home. It stood in front of the tree hole and waved its paw at Sister Moon. Thank you, Sister Moon. Your light is brighter than a little lantern. I'm finally home. Sister Moon continued to look at the forest and discovered something new. The little frog Quack. Quack in the pond was anxiously circling around the lotus leaf. It turned out that during the day, Guagua went to the field with her mother to catch insects and accidentally got separated from her. After dark, she could only hide on a lotus leaf and didn't even have the mood to sing. Sister Moon quickly scattered her moonlight onto the pond, creating a layer of silver light on the surface. She gently swayed the clouds beside her and said, "Gua gua, don't worry. Your mother must be looking for you. My light will help your mother see you." Sure enough, it wasn't long before the frog mother swam over under the moonlight. Quack Quack jumped into her mother's arms at once and called out "Quack Quack" to the moon sister twice, as if expressing her gratitude. At this moment, Sister Moon saw a tiny figure walking slowly on the hillside. It was little hedgehog Kuki. It was carrying a full load of wild fruits on its back, wanting to give them to its grandma far away. But the mountain path was too dark at night, so it didn't dare to walk too fast. Sister Moon quickly gathered her moonlight in front of Kyuki and made the stars blink their eyes as well, walking with Kyuki. "Kyuki, come on. My light will always shine on you. Grandma must be waiting for you." Kyuki looked at the bright road beneath her feet and quickened her pace. The fruit on her back swayed gently, as if greeting the stars. A few days later, Sister Moon turned into a curved little boat. She found that the little ants in the forest were still busy. They were moving the winter grain to their new home, but it was too dark at night to see the route of the move clearly. Sister Moon quickly moved her curved little boat towards the ants' hole, allowing the moonlight to just shine on the ants' line. "Little ants, move slowly. My light will be with you." The little ants, following the moonlight, lined up in neat rows to carry food. From time to time, they would wave their antennae at Sister Moon as if saying, "Thank you, Sister Moon, for your hard work." It was late at night. Most of the little animals were asleep, but the little rabbit Rong Rong was still looking at the stars on the grass by the field. Rong Rong has been a bit unhappy recently because its mother is going to her grandma's house far away, and it has to stay at home alone for a few days. Sister Moon gently cast moonlight on Rong Rong and said tenderly, "Rong Rong, don't be sad. Mom will be back soon. I'll come to keep you company every night." Rong Rong looked up at the crescent moon sister and suddenly felt no longer lonely. Pointing at the moon, she said, "Moon sister, you are like a small boat. Can you carry Mum back quickly?" Sister Moon smiled and shook her head, saying, "I'll help you pass a message to Mum to tell her to come home early, to be with Robert." Slowly, the sky was about to brighten. Sister Moon was going to hide in the clouds to rest. She looked at the sleeping little animals. Lely was holding a pinnacone in the tree hole. Guagua was snoring beside her mother. Kyuki had already delivered the fruit to her grandma's house, and Rong Rong was lying in the rabbit nest with a smiling face. Sister Moon let out a soft sigh, feeling sweet in her heart. It turns out that her light not only illuminates the night sky, but also helps little animals find homes and keeps the lonely little ones company. It's much more interesting than hanging alone in the night sky. The next evening, when the moon sister appeared in the night sky again, all the little animals in the forest came out to greet her. Lele was holding a pine cone. Guagua was singing in the pond. Cookie was carrying freshly picked wild fruits on her back. And Rong Rong was even waving her ear at the moon sister. Sister Moon smiled and scattered her moonlight over everyone, thinking to herself, "From now on, every night, I will be everyone's little lighthouse, using my gentle light to protect every little one who needs company." Such a night is brighter than the stars in the sky and more beautiful than the sweet moonlight. 以上翻译结果来自有道神经网络翻译 YNMT 通用场景。